Look at this state of my bonnet. Oh, wow. That's getting sorted later this week, so don't you worry. I'm going to be back to streamline my key reels. Alright, let's do this. Alright, so I wanted to talk very quickly about the 4 stages of learning, right? They are unconscious incompetence, conscious incompetence, conscious competence, and unconscious competence, right? So the first of which, unconscious incompetence, basically means that you don't know what you don't know. I'm going to start learning Spanish. That's going to be easy. How hard could it be? Second stage is conscious incompetence. So at this point, you're starting to realize that actually there's a bit more to this and it's a little bit more difficult than it seems. And you don't have all the knowledge or resources to be able to have a conversation in Spanish. So this is the point where most people, when acquiring a new skill, they give up. Fuck this is way too hard, I'm not doing it. But if you do stick that period out, if you're willing to graft through that period, then you will make the next stage, which is conscious competence. You now have the skill, but you have to think about how to apply it. So it wouldn't necessarily, let's say again, Spanish, if you're having a conversation, it may not necessarily be fluent because you'd have to be able to break up the sentences when thinking about particular words, or maybe you haven't quite learned it all, so it can't be fluent, but you've got the skill, you just have to think about how and when to use it or apply it, if that makes sense. And then the last stage is unconscious competence. So that's when it's just second nature. You can do it in your sleep, and it's just the easiest thing to do. Another example would be driving. If you get to a point of conscious competence, you know that first, second, third, fourth, and fifth gear are gears that you need to be using, but you have to put a little bit more thought into when and how to use them. When you were to then progress to unconscious competence, you would then be able to just drive and it'd be second nature. You wouldn't have to worry about the gears and all that sort of stuff because it'd be fucking easy at that stage. So the stage I want to talk about is stage 2, conscious incompetence. Knowing that you're not good at something is not a nice way to feel generally. So there again is another saying that I'm going to use, which is very pertinent to this particular stage. So when looking to when looking to pick up a new skill, repetition breeds familiarity, familiarity breeds competence, and competence breeds confidence. All right, so in layman's terms, that means if you keep doing it over and over again, you'll get pretty familiar with it and you'll understand how it works. And when you get familiar with it, you're probably going to get pretty good at it as well over time, providing you keep repeating said action. And then at that point, if you're pretty good at it, you're going to be pretty confident about it as well. And you'll be able to exude that confidence in that skill. But it all comes down to repetition, repeating the action, doing it over and 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 over again. Fuck me. Until you get it, until you get a better understanding. So I just want people to know that if you are looking at learning something new or taking on board a new skill, a new hobby, COVID and the lockdowns that came with it introduced a lot of people to new skills and new hobbies and new things, new interests, new things that they wanted to learn about, try, whatever. If you are going to be doing that, and just be aware of this particular thing. Be aware that you're going to go through stages of learning that skill, and one of the stages which you may find pretty difficult is conscious incompetence, knowing that you're no good at it or you're not that good at it. So on the back of that, if you recognize that, don't give up, go again and recognize that repetition breeds familiarity, familiarity breeds competence, and competence in suit breeds confidence. But just like Home Alone, you don't want to be like Kevin when he is told, Kevin, you are what the French say, les incompetents. Remember that? Remember how bad he felt? Fuck that. You don't want to be feeling like that. You will be les incompetents at some point, but eventually if you stick with it, you will become le compétent. I'm assuming it is in French. So have some of that, and au revoir.